What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this bad education review. If you do enjoy this video, please do drop a like and a subscribe down below with notifications on. As well as that, please do let us know what you think about the movie in the comments down below and what future content you want. So welcome to this bad education movie review and ending discussion. No, not the underrated Jack Whitehall sitcom, but the HBO movie. Yes, it's a bit confusing when you search it on Google UK. Interestingly, this was released as a HBO movie and not internationally or really anywhere else. It's really, really weird, but it's a new movie, so I can't complain. But I can't help but think this would have been better served if it was just sent by Netflix or anything like that. But I'm not going to complain, again, because we got a brand new movie. So the movie follows the true story of an embezzlement in a public school and how a tiny little toe dip into embezzlement can actually lead to millions being stolen. Yes, most of this movie is true. Pretty much a good 95% of it is actually true, believe me or not. Sometimes it's easy to forget that Hugh Jackman is more than musicals and clawed mutants. It's nice to see him here in a proper role. Hugh Jackman stands out as the beauty-obsessed superintendent with much more to him than meets the eye. Yes, we never really see much of him beyond what he does for a job. We never really learn what makes him actually tick. The movie starts off simply enough, but continues to follow many threads over the course of this relatively short movie. I mean, we're used to movies like almost 2.5, 3 hours these days, and this was just pushing the 2-hour mark there, which I actually prefer. Each thread is more interesting than the other, with Frank's career, affairs, and a schoolgirl unraveling the biggest public school embezzlement in history. Now, the kid looking into this was more of an amalgamation of different real-life people, and that seems better. It fits the story a lot better. Now, part of me thinks that this would have actually been better served as a Netflix series, as it is near impossible to understand and develop each player in this movie. And to be honest, there are quite a lot, and there's a lot of individual stories in this which would have been nice to just investigate just a bit more. The accidental slip-up causing the assistant to be implicated happens far too soon, and the mini-series would have given the plot a bit more room to breathe there. But the pacing does work, and overall the movie is really, really, really good. It is just a real surprise here. From the trailer, I was like, this is going to be good, but given the time constraints and Jackman's performance as a narcissist who also cares, has a lot of nuance. I wasn't really kind of expecting this at all to be just the powerhouse that it actually was. A surprise appearance here from Ray Romano was also actually welcome, playing the head of the school board here. And it's nice to see him once again on our screens and representing the interests of the parents here. Not just the parents, but the wider community who make absolute millions. As always, no one asks questions when life's going good, and Frank's career made the residents very, very wealthy, and the closing scenes shows the absolute hypocrisy. They've got theirs, and when exposed, the outrage is rife. People wondered how the assistant here got what she had, but they never actually kind of asked or probed, especially when all of these characters in the school make a pittance. And them wanting a part of the good times are actually scorned, and Frank does actually make some good points here about this, although he did commit a crime. It would have been nice to learn more about Frank, because he quite clearly had a wife, and then suddenly we see him with a cohabiting husband. He's having an affair with an ex-pupil. The characterization and his sexuality of Frank, especially with his history of his wife, isn't explored as much, and really is one of the only flaws of this movie, despite me actually wanting to know more about it, which isn't really a flaw. We never really learn what makes him tick. We are led to believe he's obsessed with staying young, which must have stemmed from a trauma in the past there, but we never actually find out how his wife died, and the blind vanity doesn't really do much to provide an answer as to why he does what he does and why we should actually care about the character. Never really kind of actually care about anyone in this movie except from the tenacious kid who is answering or asking all the right questions here for the school paper. I still find things weird as it is so rare in the UK to actually do stuff like this. My only actual extracurricular activity was the basketball team. We were bad, very bad. We were the Cavaliers without LeBron. We were the Golden State Warriors without Durant and Curry. Each and every character is just totally awful. They are awful, which is not a bad thing. I mean, for example, in Better Call Saul, the show I'm currently binging, has a rogues gallery of terrible, but we actually care about them and we want to know more about them. And here it would have been nice to explore it just a bit more, a nice deep dive in there. Another reason why this would have been great as really a mini series, but what we got, this end product, is still very, very good. And I'm not complaining that I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I wanted more because I was that actually gripped. Frank seems a guy who actually really cares, and the acting from Jackman is perfect. This is a career-defining performance. It's nice to see him just disappear into his role. It was beyond gripping, and this is a very personal story, which is why the performance from the actors are actually critical here. This is a very grounded piece there. And supporting cast members just knocks it out of the park with Alison Janney. And granted, she seems a bit typecast here. She seems to play the usual kind of hard-nosed woman. But that's what's needed here. And this role, they counterbalance very well. Ray Romano is also in somewhat of a John Travolta, Grease, Pulp Fiction return to form here. He's gone from The Irishman to this. I hope we get more of him on the screen because the dude, he can actually seriously act. Now, I was always more of a King of Queens fan. Pause for booze. Look, dude, who put this in the script? What? No. It rocked. Whatever. As I said previously, everyone profits from this and everyone does well, even when presented with the facts. And the hypocrisy, again, is rife, and it's a very apt story to tell because corruption is always a problem. And in the first half, they have the threat of being exposed, but they decide to just play it down until it is absolutely barefaced there in the school newspaper, which still, how do American schools fund these school papers? Are these actually real? Let me know down in the comments. HBO haven't really had a good run post Game of Thrones. The Curb Your Enthusiasm return has been a bit of a letdown, and Westworld, while I love it, it just hasn't been the cultural zeitgeist that its predecessor actually. But the ending was interesting with the weird sort of dream sequence at the end, but it's quite clear that he did serve his time there and he's just imagining there a better life. And nearly all of this is true, even the second home. Yes, that is very, very much true, except for the kid who was more of an amalgamation of all the characters. They seem to do that quite a lot there with movies. But overall, it was a really, really gripping drama and I absolutely loved it. So let me know what you think in the comments there down below. Hit the like if you enjoyed the movie and subscribe with notifications on if you actually want more from me. That's it. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.